Good morning everyone, I hope we're all well. So welcome to Car Diaries number 2 or 3, I can't remember which one it is now, but it's nice to be doing these things again. And as you probably guessed by the title of the video, this is all about notches. And yes, I know it's trendy to kind of bash it, but I'm not here to bash the iPhone 10, that's not what this video is about. The iPhone 10 has the notch because it's a necessary feature, because they don't have a Touch ID button, so it's there for the Face ID feature. So what this video is to talk about is the complete lack of imagination and ingenuity from companies like Huawei, LG, or OnePlus, and now what looks to be Samsung. There was a design which was published yesterday by Techno Buffalo, and they spoke about it on the channel, and it kind of frustrates and annoys me and upsets me all in equal measure, and here's why. So, you know, the companies I've just mentioned, your Huawei, LG and OnePlus, they've got designs ready to be outed with this design feature. I personally hate it because it just seems so unnecessary for these handsets. You know, they even say by their own admission that they offer a masking feature so you can blend the notch into the top of the display, so you just get one straight line at the top. Now that's saying to me that these companies are inadvertently ashamed of this design feature, and they're giving you the option and an excuse to hide it because they know it's such a polarizing and unpopular feature. Ever since removing headphone jacks, the notch whole idea has been a very, very unpopular thing amongst consumers. Now, you know, people who say, oh, I'm okay with the notch, that's fine, it's your opinion, that's cool. This is not aimed at you and it's not bashing you in any way whatsoever. This is purely to talk about the frustrations of these big companies with huge marketing budgets. OnePlus maybe not, I mean, they tend to follow Oppo designs a lot. And that was more evident in the OnePlus 5 and OnePlus 5T, so the OnePlus 6 is obviously going to follow some sort of design of an Oppo device, which we've seen in the news already. But still, you know, OnePlus are now $1 billion company, and these are companies who have a heritage of good design behind them. But now we're seeing a copycat design of a feature that nobody asked for. Nobody asked for bezel-less screens on their phones. Nobody asked for, you know, the iris scanners or front cameras and speakers and stuff to be embedded in a terrible looking feature on a phone nestled at the top of the screen. But now we've got Samsung, one of the pioneers of phone design now. You know, the Galaxy S8, Galaxy S9 and their Plus variants, and also the Galaxy Note 8 as well, are beautiful looking devices. And you may say, oh, beautiful is a bit strong. It's not. They are fantastic looking phones. You know, that lilac purple is, you know, okay, there's males will buy that phone. I'm not being sexist by saying it's a female only colour. Of course it's not. You know, men can also buy these colours, it's fine. They're beautiful phones. You know, the Galaxy S9 is not a bit out of place. Everything's got beautifully sculpted lines. It all fit. The fit and finish is superb. And Samsung have managed to get all those sensors in a nice, neat and tidy straight line at the top of the display. And we've still got a good usable screen area. So it's really annoying to see that a company like Samsung with a huge marketing budget and obviously some very talented people in their design team have now resorted to this whole notch thing. Now, whether it's going to be a Galaxy S-line device, a Note device, we don't know. It could be a J series, A series, or their C series. You know, they got so many bloody series, Samsung's is ridiculous. But I'm just trying to imagine in my head the design meeting which occurred for that to come around. So I'm just thinking of it now. You've got the head of design at Samsung walks up to their design manager, Walter Sweeney we'll call him, says to him, right, we've got all this money, we've got this brilliant team behind you, I want you to go away and I want you to think up a new design for our phones. We want to take things in a different direction. Alright boss, cool. So Friday afternoon, everyone's out on the lash after work, off down the pub, And you can imagine them all thrashing ideas out on the table, pork scratchings all over the table, beer everywhere. And it comes to Monday morning, boardroom meeting occurs, so in shuffles Walter, hangover the size of Zimbabwe, sits down, CEO's like that. Hey Walt, take a seat. How's your mum? Show us what you got. Realising the mistake he's made, Walter shovels his fag packet out of his pocket, which he's drawn a design on a Friday evening on the way home in a taxi, pushes it over the table, and the CEO's like that. Everyone move away from the coffee machine, and nobody gets hurt. And he goes absolutely crazy. Stir crazy. So would I. It's baffling me, and I just don't understand it. We've got LG, the pioneer of bad marketing. They need all the help they can get with their smartphones. I'm not saying they're bad phones, certainly not, but they're bad at marketing. They don't need to make it any worse by introducing a feature which is so hated by a lot of people into their new smartphone. The LG G7 ThinQ. 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 OnePlus 6. There's no need to have that notch, because the usable screen area to the left and right of the notch is so negligible. It's like, what's the point? You know, I've used an iPhone 10 and all it seems to do is just distract you when you use the phone in landscape mode. If you're running the full screen, you've still got that ugly, awful notch at the left-hand side of the screen. You cannot take your eyes off it. Those people say, oh, I don't mind the notch. Cool, like I said, that's fine, it's your opinion. But still, it's still a badass feature. It's really shit and stupid. Excuse my language. It's so annoying. You've got Huawei introduced it into their phones, and like I said in a previous video, it's coming. It is coming. Apple are going to come out with an iPhone without a notch, and all that technology will be refined and just put into a really nice thin bezel at the top of the display. And all these OEMs are going to go, oh crap. We're 3 months into our cycle with our phone. It's too late to go back now. Now what are we going to do? And then they will all say, oh right, well we're removing the notch from our phones now. If you sat these people down and you asked them the question straight, Carl Pay for example. Hey Carl, how's it going? Please can you tell me in a straight answer why you put the notch in your phone, or why you couldn't think of another design? Tell me. There'd be a lot of scratching of noses and awkward scratching of ears and foreheads and stuff. Where did you get your inspiration? And the answer is obviously going to be, you know, we wanted to give you more screen estate. You're not actually getting much more screen estate. A couple of millimeters, if that, either side of this stupid cyclop eyebrow thing in the middle of the top of the screen. Why? Why? And the worst thing is that people are going to be forced to accept that. So if Samsung do somehow put that into their next Galaxy S line device, people are left with no alternative than to just accept it. And that's the saddest thing about it. People will have to accept that these things exist, and they're going to have to put up with what I feel is a poor design decision. It just looks bloody awful. It really does. You know, putting that kind of thing on your phone is the equivalent of asking Oscar Pistorius to do the can-can at your mate's wedding. In either scenario, it's not going to end well. You put a notch on your phone, all it's going to be is just social media filling out with hate comments. And maybe people then flock to other manufacturers who are staying with the tried and trusted design. You know, the rectangle with, you know, some bezels top and bottom, but no notch. You know, Nokia are doing it. I called this in a previous video. The Nokia 7 Plus seems to be getting a lot of love at the moment, and for good reason. It's a really well-rounded device at a good price with decent specs and good usability. You've got the Sony XZ2 Premium, I think that's what it's called. A 4K display, twin cameras with crazy ISO for low light, and stereo speakers, water resistance, fingerprint reader, blah 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 blah. You know, people are going to think, you know, people will think with their pockets and their feet. And what happens then? You've only got yourself to blame, OEMs, for copying a feature, and it'll then be egg on your face. You'll be left out in the cold with customers who have trusted you for years, and just because you have copied a design from one of the biggest smartphone manufacturers in the whole world, one of the most influential smartphone manufacturers in the world. And by doing that, you have then alienated yourselves and caused a whole lot of trouble. You're probably not going to watch this video, but you know, I make these videos for my subscribers because they tell me they enjoy it. But I'm very passionate about technology and smartphones in general. I'm passionate for new design ideas, not stuff that's regurgitated from a manufacturer who chose a bold move with their flagship device and got a lot of hate for it. And I think, you know, they're going to move to a design which refines the whole notch thing. Maybe they'll have a tiny notch at the top, I don't know, I'm not sure how it's going to play out, but you can guarantee they're going to refine that, and it's going to be less of a notch, more of like a tiny little lip at the top of the display, maybe. As each iteration goes along, it's going to get smaller and smaller until we're back at a straight line with all of the Face ID technology nestled inside that. And then the cycle starts again. All of the other manufacturers then just go back to that design. And don't tell me seriously that these companies are going to be happy to continue with the whole notch thing, because it's not going to happen. Like removal of the headphone jack, it's one of those features which people didn't ask for and don't like. They do not like it. And I'm making a sweeping statement there full of assumptions about a broad spectrum of people. It's not everybody. Some people are happy with the notch and are happy to accept it. That's cool. I'm not here to bash anybody. But all I'm saying is the whole notch idea just smacks of a lack of ingenuity, imagination and ideas. As I said, these are companies with a huge marketing budget and talented designers who can do so much better. So much better. Dare I say it, some of these Chinese OEMs, you know, the ones with the fake dual cameras and all that crap, you know, and in-screen fingerprint readers, I think they are the ones who could possibly lead the way out of this with some breakthrough designs. Mr. Who's the Boss, he showed us that Doji phone with a fully bezel-less display with a very Nokia-like slide-in design, so the camera was hidden behind on a separate part. Now, you know, experience tells me with Nokia phones of that type that they do break, and you know, because it's a moving part, it will wear down over time. But look, it's something different. It's not a notch. It's a company looking for different ways to go for this edge-to-edge bezel-less design, and it's coming. Yes, I get it. The whole edge-to-edge thing is going to happen sooner or later. Somebody's going to find a way to make a full display with just a tiny frame around it. So that is coming. I get that. But what I just find it very hard to understand is a company like Samsung. So annoying. A company like that should not be copying their biggest competitor. It's lame, and it's lazy, and it's not on. So tell I'm very frustrated, I'm sure. It's just, I don't know. It's upsetting more than anything, and I just don't think that is the right direction for Samsung to go in. It's too late for LG and OnePlus, Huawei. Their products are either on the market or ready to launch on the market. And given the fact that the OnePlus 6 is going to be OnePlus's only choice of phone, just one phone in a few different variants, different storage configurations and colours and what have you, then that's danger territory, because there's no other alternative. At least Apple have the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus to fall back on. People aren't a huge fan of the notch. They can get the same kind of power in a different form factor, which is a more traditional and well-used, albeit well-used design, but which people love. People love the iPhone design. Whether it's stale or not, it's still a very popular phone, and you can get a variety of colours, a variety of configs with different storage and what have you, in 2 different sizes. And OnePlus only have the one device, OnePlus 6, and that's it. There's no other option for their loyal fan base. Gotta be careful, I'm trickling into the 15 minutes here, so I don't want to keep this going too long. I'm going to run out of diesel if I'm not careful. So, LG is the same as well, but at least with LG they've got other models that people can go for. Get a used G6 or a V30, V30 Plus. Huawei's the same. You've still got the Mate 10 Pro you can buy. Still a great phone. So, it's dangerous territory. And you could say the same about Samsung. You can still buy last year's flagship, the S9, S8, Note 8, what have you, and you still have that choice. But for people like OnePlus, they're moving into a dangerous territory there. And if it all backfires on them, Dan Gage mentioned it, if it all backfires because the price is too high and people don't like that notch, then they could all fall flat on their face, because they've gone in and copied a design, and it's a bad move. Bad move, OnePlus. I've said it before in a previous video, and this is the last time I'm ever going to talk about notches in Car Diaries, because there's more to talk about in the tech world. I don't know, even all wasting my breath, but I just had to get it off my chest and let you, my viewers and subscribers, know how I feel about this vastly polarizing feature. So there we are. That's me. I've had my little rant now. I've got off my chest. I can sleep easy today now. Let me know your thoughts and your comments, and if you've got any questions. The comment section is open for anybody. If you want to flame me for this, if you disagree with me, then that's fine. That's what this whole YouTube thing is about. Everyone has their own opinions, and it's fine to disagree. If you disagree, just be nice about it. You can call me fat, you can call me old, that's fine. But just be nice about everything else. And be nice to everybody in the comments as well. So that's me for today. That's Car Diaries over. I'm going home now. I'll get this uploaded, and I hope you enjoy it anyway. So hope you all have a lovely day. Take care of yourselves. Sunny weather today, tomorrow in the UK. So if you're in the UK, hope you enjoy it. And yeah, that's it for me for today. Take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you guys later. Laters.